Hello, everyone. It's now 11:09 p.m. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, well, today, after I woke up today, this afternoon, like shortly after 12 o'clock, after waking up, I didn't really feel any vertigo, nausea, dizziness, or none of that. So, yeah, as I said, I don't remember if I went to bed between 4 and 6 o'clock in the morning. After I get off from here, to stay on the safe side, I'm going to try to take some of that healing gravy. So, this afternoon, well, I didn't really have breakfast, but I had lunch and a weird ass junk dinner for well, for lunch I had mixed vegetables, rice, and that coconut curry simmer sauce, and red snapper fish. I think I put way too much of that Tony seasoning on it. I should have put less. So because of that, I had half of the fish. So, yeah, I had like half of the fish. I mean, half of the piece of fish. And it didn't have bones in it, thankfully. So, um, so after eating lunch. Well, I had some hot cocoa. It relaxed me. It relaxed my body while I was drinking it. And it helped me. I mean, it tasted good and helped relax my body while I was drinking it. But almost shortly after, my body started to feel like crap or feel like shit. So then I think while I was preparing the food, no, you know what? I think, excuse me, I think I put the food on in the crock pot at like just before 12:30. And then I didn't even get to really eat until 3 o'clock or 3:30. And I think I overcooked the fish. I accidentally overcooked the fish because I was simultaneously trying to work on my foster care ebook. It's not that long, but I'm not sure if I'm finished with it. So so I spent a lot of the afternoon, working on my foster care experiences, the ebook of me talking about foster care experiences. It's not like something that's very, very long or like a whole autobiography or nothing. It's just like a brief summary and some of my personal experiences, and also some of my personal experiences, and also me giving links and some research on basically some research and some links, excuse me, on how I mean, how the system operates, or how wicked the system is, exposing the foster care system. So if you don't feel like you have time to research, or if you don't like to research, then that ebook, or if you're not an avid reader, then that ain't for you. The book ain't for you. And if you don't care about me, or if my life does not matter to you, then the book ain't for you. So that's what I spent, and you can't tell me that that is not work. I'm an author. So that is my job. I have a right to be what I want to be and pursue what I want in life. And people need to stop trying to control other people. So with the Ezekiel 4 and 9 bread, I have, I guess, 7 slices left, but I had 9 slices left. Well, 8 slices and then the end piece. So I went to get more peanut butter and a couple of snacks. And so for so-called dinner, I had cookies, chips, and a peanut butter sandwich with the Ezekiel 4 and 9 bread. And then I felt ashamed and I felt guilty. It's like it felt like as if I binged. But it had been like a week and a half, other than cake. It had been a week and a half since I had like other junk food. But it felt like as if I relapsed. It felt like as if I relapsed. And I pretty much, was craving and craving and craving. I don't know why I was craving. And I also wanted some ice cream, but I felt like, well, I'm not even gonna bother because it seems like my freezer doesn't like ice cream. It doesn't like to freeze ice cream. So either that or just something wrong with Dollar General. So every time if I try to go get ice cream and then put it in the freezer from that store, the ice cream, it never freezes. It stays like partially melted, or still kind of, or it gets liquid. So I don't even bother. But yeah, so usually, like, excuse me, if it was a few years ago and I would bring my own lunch, to the beach or something, and I would make 2 sandwiches and have some chips and cookies and then be fine, and then, after swimming at the beach, you end up feeling the munchies, hungry again after a few hours. So, they had moments when I was living in Los Angeles, and I would, when I was living in Los Angeles, and I would, eat before going to the beach, and then just go to the beach for free, and then come home, and it's like as if I didn't have to spend money at all that day. So last night I mistakenly thought that the fake Darnell Williams perp left me alone, but he didn't, because he was manipulating the thumbs up and thumbs down on my videos last night. So all this evening and all tonight, he been harassing the fuck out of me really bad. It's like, as I said, who the hell has time? Who the hell has time to go as far as to create, after you block them, they create a whole nother email and another YouTube channel just to harass and fuck with you after you keep blocking them. And I mean, and it's like they never give up. So I mean, because as I said, it's by you being so creepy and stealthy to stalk and harass somebody. People say be careful if somebody's stalking you like that, and especially finding your address. Like, how did he know that? It's like he gangs. I mean, how did he know that the address of my last the last permanent address that I used to live at before I became homeless? How did he know that? And he kept on doxing that. And he kept on putting that up, you know. And it's like, as I said, the perps, if they say you're sick and crazy and you're paranoid and you have mental issues, but they're the ones who obsessed with you. As I said, you know, this weirdo had been stalking me for possibly almost 2 years. Possibly almost 2 years. Definitely over a year. But probably almost 2 years. But due to being abused in foster care and put in a cult and everything, and being on psychiatric medications, you know, that caused me to have a gluttony disorder, you know, an overeating disorder. And then I got better over the years. You know, after becoming a Christian and finding out about natural health and how bad everything is, you know, excuse me. So I'm so it's like, I mean, I'm surprised that even my twin sister said that she was surprised that she didn't that she ended up, I mean, she even said that she's surprised that she didn't well, she said she's surprised that we didn't end up on drugs. That we survived foster care abuse without turning into drug addicts. So, but as I said, like in 2009 or 2010, there was a point in time I started to suspect that, seemed like she started to, like, as if she almost started to become an alcoholic. But maybe she must have nipped that in the bud, you know. But she told me that the abusive fake foster mom, Ann, was an alcoholic. Well, years ago, she told me, "Oh, remember when the foster mom was an alcoholic?" I'm like, "Well, I didn't remember the foster. I think the foster dad, Al, and the foster stepdad, I think they were alcoholics. But yeah, I don't remember the foster mom being an alcoholic, but when we were 7 years old, and she was like 42 years old, and she used to drink beer. And one time we were 14 years old, and the foster mom got drunk, and I heard that a cult member had got her drunk and set her up at a casino, Boomtown Casino. So but it seemed like, wow, when the sex trafficking perp DJ, he eventually left me alone. But he copied off of everybody else calling me greedy. And that's when he tried to say, you don't need to be eating 3 meals a day. And so it's like, without realizing it, after I started that job with the temp service in Gulf Breeze, part of Pensacola, I realized that I was eating twice a day. And I didn't realize I was subconsciously listening to and obeying these abusive narcissistic perps. But but they're trying to make something that it's not. And it's like, if I only ate twice today, y'all falsely accused me of being obsessed with food and greedy. And I'm like, well, you know what? I'm going to go back to eating 3 meals a day then. Oh, who the hell she thinks she is? She thinks she's entitled to eat 3 meals a day. Well, you think you're entitled? Don't you eat 3 meals a day? So, and every single last fake TI perp that I had feud with, they all will try to weaponize calling me greedy. And you're going to tell me that you're a real TI and that you're not a perp? So, I mean, and then, I would be homeless on the streets, and you want to talk about, oh, all she does is beg for money, and all she does is beg for money and talk about what she ate. And then you turn around and make a fake competition on, you act like as if you want to try to compete. Well, you will have a house. You're a fake Christian TI perp, and act like as if you want to compete with a homeless person on who can eat the fanciest. Sounds like somebody's jealous. So, it's crazy. Like, how you gonna be jealous of me if you had $50,000 over 50? You claim you had over $50,000 a year job. As I said, I will die never even knowing what it's like to get $15,000 of earned income from working. So, I mean, I think that they're acting like they falsely accuse me of being when I'm just doing I would be homeless and doing a daily diary, just talking about my survival and my struggles, and just trying to talk about how I'm surviving while homeless, or while my finances is very low and stuff like that. But so, but they want to turn it into, you make a fake smear campaign and trying to turn it into something that it's not. And I know my twin sister eats 3 meals a day. And she had been bigger and fatter than me, but y'all applaud and praise her showing off food and cooking and everything else, but y'all shun everything I do. The fake TI perps and regular perps. As I said, how you gonna be fat and then call me fat and greedy? Like as if you act like like you think that your fat is better than my fat. So you know, just because I do a daily documentation, just like I do a daily documentation of like what time I woke up or what time I went to sleep or what time I you know, or if I do a documentation on, you know, certain tasks that I done. But y'all trying to, it's like they're obsessed enough that they want to be invasive enough to, they're obsessed with me and my anything associated with food and money. I'm not obsessed with food and money, but that's what they're trying to make it. And it seems like as if they're really trying to gaslight me and drive me to insanity, you know, for the fact that every time I get hungry or every time mealtime comes around, I start to feel anxiety. And they're the ones inducing this. They want to do stuff like try to count calories or try to count how much money they think I'm getting donated and everything else. So I mean, I mean, as I said, oh, don't donate Candy anything. She gets over $900 a month. Well, tell that to the popular fake YouTubers with millions of subscribers. As I said, they get millions of subscribers. They put ads in their videos. Plus, they sell merchandise. And they put up a GoFundMe, CashApp, Venmo, Zelle, PayPal, and ask for donations. And they don't have another job. So they make their living. They choose to make their living from gossiping about celebrities on YouTube. And they get respected for it because they sold their souls to the devil. People ain't going to say that they're fake scammers. But, you know, all you do is, if they get paid to spread gossip about celebrities, and y'all call that making a decent living or a job. So, you know, the perps even brag about how they're going to get my Social Security and SSI or whatever taken away. And I would be homeless on the streets. And they would make those threats. They are so vicious. Like, they got to be demons. And as I said, like, they have this vigilante hate campaign against me. And it's like, I don't know y'all and I never even did y'all anything. But they're going to continue to keep doing what they're doing. You know, and the ones who participate in this and then falsely claim that they're being targeted and that they're Christian. So, as I said, it's like they are creating a worsening anxiety disorder that they want for me to center around food. So if your old false opinion about me being obsessed with food or money or whatever is bothersome to you, how come you don't just go away and unsubscribe and go leave me alone? but they obsessed with trying to control everything I do. You know, so I mean, as I said, the fake Darnell Williams I'ma say it, he's fat himself. I can tell in his voice that he's fat. I can tell by his voice, because like, you know how when an obese or fat person talks on the phone, or even you can hear me being big and overweight, it's like they have that extra bass or heaviness in the way that they talk. Not exactly bass, but extra heaviness in the way that they talk. So but I, thought about trying to, as I said, I could have gotten skinnier and lost some weight, but I'm not a lazy person, but due to the gang stalking, it's like, they want me to not even they want me to not be seen in the neighborhood. So I have to just stay up in here to try to stay out of trouble and avoid setups and arguments. I can't even go to the laundromat or the grocery store. So so as I said, they have online strangers who act like they think they know your life more than you know your life. I mean, you know, I've been abused, controlled, and restricted all my life. And then, the fake Darnell Williams perp trying to talk about you've been living on vacation your whole life, or you've been a scammer all your life. Y'all don't even know me. I never scammed anybody. But it's y'all that's trying to scam me out of my soul. The fact that y'all act like as if y'all trying to get my soul for free. Y'all trying to get my soul for free. And y'all gang stalkers, family or not, twin or not, y'all gang stalkers are never to be trusted. Never to be trusted. It's like y'all go hard for Satan. Y'all hardcore worship Satan and thinking that it's righteous. You want to punish somebody for being good? You're the illegal, satanic, criminal animal. So I also today well, of course, with cooking and eating comes washing dishes. So, I wash dishes, and I also took out the trash. But in the middle of the night, it was before 2:00 in the morning, I was trying to figure out what to eat. Because me having a crock pot, food takes longer to cook, So I had to think and prepare in advance. So, and I forgot to take out the fish in the middle of the night. But that fish, it seemed like as if it thawed out really quick. The fish thawed out really fast. So I didn't need to thaw it out all night like I thought I would. But I was trying to bend down into my storage bins. And I also was trying to look for some more soap. And I smelled the soap but couldn't find it. And they were squeezing my organs as I was bending down, trying to look for the soap. So, can't even clean the shower or try to clean the toilet because, if I bend down, I don't know if they're gonna squeeze my organs or if they're gonna make me have the dizziness and vertigo. And those are two things that is preventing me from working and having a job. Plus, I don't have transportation. So, and I hate how not only the fake Darnell Williams perp, but other fake TI perps and regular perps. Well, he's not a fake TI perp. He's a perp that delusionally believes he's my handler and trying to be my pimp. So I hate when the fake TI perps and regular perps, when they want to say that they had to create another account and say this and that to me, when you don't have anything to say to me. You're not even supposed to try to contact me or try to access or talk to me. Who says that you had to make? No, you did not have to. You willfully chose to make another account to harass me or whatever. Saying you had to make another email, like as if I inconvenienced. You didn't have to do that. But I'm disgusted at the fake TI perps that claim that that they're targeted and persecuted for speaking the truth, and yet behind closed doors, nobody believes me when I say that they're doing the same perp tactics. So it's like you profess to be targeted like me, and you also succeed at trying to sabotage my finances by slandering me and lying on me and saying Candy's a scammer. Or Candy wants to be homeless, or Candy pretends to be homeless, and everything like that. So my ear is itching. So but as long as you're calling me greedy, you're never gonna get my soul. I'm never gonna give in. And as I said, Alex Dupree, he acted like he wanted to offer for me to sell out with the I think he said 2 acres. 2 acres of land or something like that, and such a house, or for me to be a lady of nights or whatever. 2 acres, and then if you take this deal, we'll get you off the gang stalking list for good. And I'm like, yeah, right. So you can sacrifice me after the 6 months. You talking about for all I got to do is gang stalk for 6 months, and then you'll get me, and then I'll be off the gang stalking list for good. I ain't falling for that. But so The fake Donnell Williams perp try to talk about I'm gonna keep on making comments on every video until you get a job. Well, you sabotage me getting a car so that I can have job opportunities. So explain that. Explain that. I mean, you lied to everybody on TikTok and told them don't help me and that I'm a scammer, and you had everybody huddled together and blocked me, and then got all the freaking comments deleted because you lied on me. But the gang stalkers are demon possessed, which furthers the truth that they're the ones who's considered mentally ill, not us. They're mentally ill and paranoid because they feel like if they feel like they think we're dangerous and need to be watched. Y'all the ones who are paranoid of us and stalking everything we do and harass us and provoke us on purpose, and then making people sick and using directed energy weapons to make people sick. I'm sitting here wondering if far back as 2001 or 2002 when I was going to college, if I was in 2001 and 2002 when I was going to college, I would have these random stabbing pains in my stomach, bad enough that I would have to go to the emergency room. And then I would get falsely accused of faking illness for attention. And then, so, yeah, I was wondering if those directed energy weapons were causing those stabbing pains. And then once the ambulance would come, the pains will stop in their tracks, and then they will falsely pretend that I'm faking for attention. But and I was on that trazodone medication. So the gang stalkers want you medicated so bad. I heard that they want you medicated because I heard that when you're on psychiatric medications, I heard that it makes the mind control more effective, and it also make the directed energy weapons more effective. Excuse me. So I mean, but it's like you calling me greedy. It's abuse and it's wrong. So now today I have if my math is correct, I have probably like $5.15 in the bank, and probably about $15 in coins. And as I said, I need to save some of that for laundry. And I'm getting kind of low on trash bags. So I'm getting kind of low on trash bags. So I mean, the perks, they don't want me to be productive. But then it's like they block you from being productive, but then they shun you for not being productive. They block you from being productive, and then they shun you for not being productive. So in this room, I don't I'm glad I don't see any flies or pests up in here at the moment. So, I mean, as I said, people are people make it like as if my cries for help is foolish and irrelevant, and like it doesn't matter. So, you know, I can't believe that, talking about the fake IDMR cult. I've been part of that, forced against my will to be a part of that cult, my whole childhood. And the foster mom was even forcing me to go even after I turned 18. She was still forcing me to go and making it mandatory. When she didn't care about me or she don't care about my soul. Trying to make it like that's a rule of her house that I have to be forced to go. But, with the fake IDMR cult, I mean, I don't really have, I mean, aside from the foster mom, I don't have anything, large enough or significant enough to write a whole book about it. But they had a few other people who said that they wanted to write a book about the cult or write about their experiences. I mean, I could not write about my experiences with the cult without the foster mom. But it was mainly with us just going 3 times a week for 2.5 hours, a day, 2.5 hours a day, 3 times a week. And just go to these fake meetings or whatever. And it's like the foster mom's abuse is mainly her to talk about. But the fake IDMR cult, aside from her, I don't have a whole lot. I mean, I don't have a whole lot enough about that cult for me personally to put it in the whole book. But I'm going to say, what's the point of being... And the foster mom was the mastermind behind why nobody liked us in that cult. When we were kids and teenagers, people didn't like my twin sister either. They didn't like her either. So, but I guess after I became targeted, she became more popular, more well-liked, and more respected, and everything else. So, So I've been writing all afternoon and not all night, but kind of all night. But my neck, the back of my neck has been hurting because I've been holding my head down a lot while writing, you know. But last night I was working on some writing and my they try to make my thumb vibrate a little bit, mildly. I'm disgusted at how long my fingernails are. Um, but when I try to trim my toenails, the toenails are way too thick and difficult to trim, difficult to cut. And they keep, I don't know how to make them grow back, back to normal. But then a lot of the times when I try to trim my toenails, they squeeze my organs. And I usually like to trim my toenails and fingernails together. So, like I am very low on finances, very low on funds, you know, and I didn't get that $24 SSI check. So as I said, they try to block me from earning a living or earning an income with writing. So you know, yeah, it's a big spiritual fight to go up against these gang stalkers. A big spiritual fight. And you know, of course I feel like I'm losing, that I'm just one against millions. Excuse me. So I don't think I'm done yet writing, but writing the ebook, but I wanted to try to publish both of them at the same time. You know, the foster care ebook and the mental health ebook. You know, I wanted to try to get, you know, two ebooks out. And then after that, I wanted to you know, work on some novels. Work on writing and publishing some novels. My cooking and cookbook goals have not been going the way that I wanted to, because I feel like the hell with that doggone crock pot. I feel bad that I selected it because I could not I couldn't think to I didn't remember what that word was, like a burner or a hot plate or whatever. And that's what I should have got, a burner, and like instead of a crock pot. But you know, on days if I'm sleep deprived or whatever, I guess sometimes the crock pot will come in handy. That's on me, that I selected the crock pot. And I thought that it would be easy, but you know, but I wish that I would have remembered the name. What is that thing called? Hot plate, burner, or whatever. And I should have got that. But you know, the crock pot would be good to come in handy on those days of me being so sleep deprived and I don't have to worry about the cabin I don't have to worry about the cabin being burned down or set on fire. You know, or if I have those bad vertigo days. But as I said, the vertigo, I strongly believe that the vertigo was strategically caused once I announced that I was gonna because the perps got really mad at me for publishing a cookbook, and I think that they're also very mad at the disclaimer that I wrote in the cookbook. The disclaimer that I wrote, they got mad at that, and they're mad at me for trying to accomplish things, and they just want me to be more hated. They want me to be more hated. And they want to make sure that every living, breathing soul on the face of this earth would hate my guts, because they want to falsely make it like as if Candy Grand Prix is the worst human being on this earth. And I just don't understand it. I mean, somebody that's considered special needs. Or if y'all want to, even though I have a bachelor's degree, but y'all want to make it like as if I'm intellectually or mentally challenged. So, fuck y'all fake asses who act like y'all have a problem with me, quote unquote, dwelling on the past and the negative. Because my life is still affected. I'm 39, about to be 40, and my life is still affected from my teenage years. So my past is my present, and my future is my present. My future is also my present, because, you're not going to shut me down or silence me, even from talking about my childhood. Or y'all want to talk about, that's proof that you haven't forgiven your abusers. What is there to freaking forgive when I'm still being tortured and abused? Y'all trying to kill me. And the main ones doing the abuse are the ones who not only expect but demand forgiveness. But I know that the Bible does say you have to forgive your enemies and, forgive people and stuff. But it's like you need closure and healing first before you can forgive. Like after somebody just did you such horrible things to the point where it really traumatized you. Somebody rape you and get you pregnant and then give you an incurable STD and then run off. You can't forgive something like that instantly. Or if somebody set you up and lie on you and you get arrested and go to jail and be put behind bars for something somebody lied on you about or set you up with, it'll be something that's very hard to shake off. But I guess you get some closure and comfort in knowing that the person who does these things, that they're wicked and God is going to take care of them. And a lot of times I forget that. But, I'm saying for like an earthly or fleshly perspective or a worldly perspective, it's like they have people who, if I called you a bitch 20 years ago, you're still grudging against me, or you still hate me or won't forgive you won't forgive me, and that's something that's small. But I've had big things happen to me that I'm supposed to be expected to forgive instantly. Forgive and never talk about it again. Or they'd be like, oh yeah, you haven't forgiven your abusers, because if you did, you wouldn't bring it up. But then you're the same person saying that is the same ones who act like the same abusive people from my past. I mean, the foster and biological family members, if they feel like I violated them, they haven't forgiven me. The fake foster mom would think she got God's authority to say that people have a right to grudge against me. You know? So, as I said, it's hard to pretty much forgive somebody while they continue to abuse and hurt you. There have been moments, if I try to if they had a narcissistic abuser who violated me or abused me or meddled in my business, and I go and apologize, and they'd be like, well, I don't want to hear none of your sorries neither. Or don't call here saying you're sorry. But I'm like, why should I be sorry? But you abused me. So, yeah, all my abuses from my past, like, and I mean, if I haven't seen or heard from the foster sister Shelley from like 2007 all the way to like 2018, no phone call, no nothing, no contact, no, just nothing. And then for her to treat me like as if my presence is not welcome. Her husband, Brian, still had not changed. Still abusive and narcissistic. They get to fraudulently and illegally own successful businesses. You know, the foster mom has had her businesses that she owned. She bragged to me about how she's been a supervisor on multiple jobs before. Because that's narcissistic and controlling. That's why. You're abusive, narcissistic, and controlling. That's why you get fake supervisor and manager positions. She even had positions in the fake cult that we grew up in. You know, I mean, if she bragged about, I mean, she can have all these nice things in life, but she didn't want me with shit. I mean, she treated me, I was 14 years old, and I wasn't even 15 yet, and she treated me like I was a dead man walking. Or I'm going to say dead girl walking. And I'm not even in contact with the fake foster mom or none of that. I'm not even in contact with her. But yet I'm being gang stalked in every city and state or country that I go to. I was even gang stalked in Costa Rica in 2005 before Hurricane Katrina, and I didn't realize it. It is now 12:08 a.m. in the morning on Thursday, June 15th, 2023. So yeah, I feel like the perps were really mad at me for publishing the cookbook. And I made the disclaimer about their false bad reviews on all my ebooks. And and so and it's like the perps, they have to be getting paid because you got too much time on your hands to waste being obsessed with somebody that's considered a nobody like me. I'm considered a nobody. You got too much time on your hands to be obsessed with me. And that's why I feel like if I never been important to anybody before, everybody ignores me, everybody hates me, then excuse me, if everybody feels that way about me, then you know, why am I on your I'm a nobody. Why am I on your mind 24 hours a day and you have no you should you I mean we're not supposed to contact each other because you don't have a reason or a right or the authority to contact me. You're stalking me, harassing me, following me, making unauthorized contact with me. And then every time I expose y'all abuse, you gaslight, manipulate, lie, and then reverse it on me and lie and say that I'm the liar and manipulator. When it's actually y'all. Y'all are abusive, bossy, manipulative, and controlling, and lie too much. Everything that comes out your mouth is a lie and false. You never say anything that's true. And then, y'all be the first to make threats to sue for libel, defamation, and slander to try to scare somebody. So, and then you act like you want to, condemn me, talking about me being so scared. But then all you do is try to instill fear, like fear mongering and shame mongering and everything. But I don't know. I don't know if I should write a nonfiction ebook based on my fake IDMR cult experiences. But, the foster mom has her hand in everything involved. But certain other cults, as I said, I'm working on a fictional ebook. I'm working on a fictional ebook with, and I've been working on that motherfucker since 2019. And I was homeless on the streets. And throughout the years, try to make attempts to work on it. And it's like, well, wow, it's fiction and y'all still feel threatened by it? It's fiction and y'all still feel threatened by it? I've been doing like a short story series of the fiction ebook, of the fictional cult that I've been working on. So the online perps, they think that I'm stupid and crazy. Talking about, oh, Candy even makes up fictionalized cults and stuff like that. Well, if you're writing a fiction story, of course, you can have like a fictitious name of a cult or fictitious places. They have writers that have fictitious countries or fictitious animals, fictitious creatures, fictitious food that in reality doesn't exist. Even made up names or whatever. But they're just trying to manipulate things for people to make it like as if I appear as crazy and nonsensical and weird and outlandish as possible. You know, like, so if you make a complaint about, you know, if me writing a short story or nonfiction or anything is a problem for you, they stalk and read everything, trying to control everything. You know, so my own twin sister, she's a perp, and she's been a liar for as long as we can talk. As soon as we started talking, being babies, toddlers or whatever, she been lying. You know, one of the first lies I remember, you know, I don't remember if we were 3 or 4 years old, and she would steal popsicles out of the freezer and blame it on me and lie and say I did it. That's one of the first lies I remember she made about me. And she would always do bad stuff and then blame it on me. Like when we were kids, 7 years old, in second grade, and probably 6 years old in first grade, we used to share a bedroom. Like, I think when we were super little, I think, you know, we used to spend the weekends by other people's house, like the foster grandma Mildred Collins, or they would send me and Wyatt to go by the foster Aunt Mickey's house. And sometimes we would look up and see Sean. Wyatt used to go by it was me and Joni used to go by Mickey's house. And then they would send Wyatt by the foster grandma Mildred Collins' house. And that's how he ended up being obsessed with wrestling. And then after that, they would send my twin sister by the foster Aunt Dana's house. And we were young as like 4 years old, 4, 5, 6, and 7 years old. But we got a certain age and they stopped sending us to spend the weekend by, you know, like me being little. I mean, I don't know why they separated us like that. But, you know, they didn't even have they separated me and my twin sister, had us going to different schools. Like, why they didn't have me and my twin sister to go by Mickey and sing Joni by Dana. But, yeah, they wanted us separated or for us to not get along. And I don't even know if they sent Mark to spend the night by anybody's house, but Sean was already Mickey's foster child. But some weekends they would let Sean come and spend the night by us, or spend the weekend by us, you know. And, you know, when we were super little, the fake foster mom, Adrian Felder, used to force us to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches as a punishment. You know, she would force us to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches as a punishment. And Sean used to take that strawberry jelly. And, you know, I think he used to put peanut butter and strawberry jelly, you know, to spread it, the strawberry, you know, jelly on the bread and the peanut butter on the bread. And then he used to squeeze, he used to squeeze the sandwich so hard that he put his fingerprints, deep inside the bread, the sandwich. And then take the biggest bites one can take and walk really slow while eating. So I used to call him Strawberry Sean. I didn't call him Peanut Butter and Jelly Sean. I used to call him Strawberry Sean. So every time I see strawberries, it made me think of when Sean used to do that, with the strawberry peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I used to hate. I still love peanut butter sandwiches, but I used to hate peanut butter and jelly. But when I got a certain age, I guess I tolerated it. But then, the age that I am now, I'm surprised that I like jelly on my biscuit, on a nice warm or a nice hot biscuit. I mean, if I like jelly or honey on my biscuit, excuse me, and sometimes, but I don't like any jelly. Like, I don't really like orange marmalade. And they used to have apple jelly when I was a little kid at the nursery, at that daycare. They used to feed us like an apple jelly. It was apple jelly with the banana. Like, in a sandwich, and then they would fold, well, not a whole sandwich, it would be one slice of bread and an apple jelly and like a half a banana, and then they fold it over and serve it to us. And I think with a glass of milk, and that used to be like a breakfast for us. I even, I think they used to serve us commodity food at that nursery too. Because I think the nursery even used to serve us farina and powdered eggs and all that. I miss that 80s and 90s government cheese and powdered eggs. And, I miss the farina. Well, we got farina now in regular stores, but I miss that 80s government cheese. Where the foster dad Al used to make that project spaghetti. So, I mean, excuse me. So, I mean, like, when we were, so I don't remember so the foster mom used to leave everybody else to take care of us. Or we would be 3 or 4 years old, and if they sent all of us to the foster grandma Mildred Collins' house, and the foster cousin Whitney, she would try to say, you ask for water, and she would say, drink your spit. But I didn't realize that she was pretty young herself. We thought she was an older adult. But I didn't know that she was 18, 19 years old or something like that. Or she would say, if you ask for water, and she'll say, drink your spit. She was pretty fat herself. Talking about drink your spit. Or the foster grandma Mildred Collins, when she was alive, she'd be like, oh, there y'all go with all that begging. You just got here. Well, you should have told the foster mom. You should have told your daughter no. You should have told your daughter no. I don't want to take care of them. I don't want to watch them. But the foster grandma, Mildred Collins, she had her own foster kids. Like when we were super, super little, very just little. You know, I remember those two boys, Troy and Brian. And I don't know what happened to them. And I don't know if they were biological brothers. And then the foster sister Joni's brother James was Mildred Collins' foster child. But James and Joni were genetically related to the foster grandma Mildred Collins and the fake foster mom Ann. And so one time, like and the foster grandma Mildred Collins, she had a foster boy named Josh. He was 2 years old. I don't remember what happened to Josh. But James was a teenager, and he taught Josh to call people a hoe at 2 years old. Like, Josh was 2 years old. He used to be like, hoe. And like, so they used to try to say that James and Josh looked just alike. And so when I was 5 years old in kindergarten, I guess after Troy and Brian were already gone, she got this foster girl named Robin Carmouche. When Robin was such an adorable, cute little 8-month-old baby. And then it's like, I don't know what happened in her life, but sometime, a few years ago, I was curious and wondering what happened to her. And I didn't even realize that, after Hurricane Katrina, she pretended to be like a nurse and scammed a whole bunch of people at a hospital and then got arrested for it. And so, now, like, she looked nothing like when she was a little baby. If that's that same Robin Carmouche. And then for a brief moment, the foster grandma Mildred Collins had a few other kids I don't remember. But I remember these fraternal twins, boy and girl, named Richard and Regina. But I think she had them for a short time. But she had Josh and Robin for quite a while. But when we were in foster care, the fake foster mom Ann, the fake foster mom Ann, Adrian Felder, she had us. Before us, well, I heard that. I think I heard they said something about that we came first, and then Mark and Wyatt came. Excuse me. See how they separated us? Why they had Sean living with the foster aunt Mickey, and they didn't have Sean living with us. And then sometimes they put Sean in a group home. And then, like, he was at this group home called Hope Haven. And they used to pronounce it Hope Haven. But it was Hope Haven in Marrero, Louisiana, part of New Orleans. And he was abused over there. It looked like a big, scary, haunted place. And Hope Haven had like a haunted house, like Chinchuba haunted house. The same people who coordinated that, they coordinated the Chinchuba haunted house. The last haunted house I ever been to was like in 2005 after Hurricane Katrina. After that, I haven't been to a haunted house since. And I don't even participate in trick-or-treating or none of that no more. I don't even do Halloween no more. So yeah, I remember being super small and visiting that Hope Haven place, you know, and they used to make threats to send us there. Um, or they had a girls' version called Madonna Manor or something like that, and they used to make threats to send us to the group home or whatever. But we ended up at some other group home in New Orleans, and I cannot remember the name of that group home that they put us in when we were in third grade, and it was a mind-shattering, traumatizing experience. They shouldn't treat kids like that, giving kids food worse. The food at those children's group home was worse than the food that they give you at homeless shelters. And then, Sean was even having to go to group homes even as an adult. Like, like it was before, during, and after Hurricane Katrina. Sean was living in a group home in Baton Rouge for a long time. For, quite a few years. But, and it's very fucked up that, like, when you have somebody that's, like the biological sister Ramona and the biological brother Pete, they exploit Sean and take his freaking money. And there was a point in time my twin sister was exploiting and taking his money and wouldn't let him eat. Abusing him, take all his money, wouldn't let him eat, and then call him greedy. They call Sean greedy like they call me greedy. They call us fat and greedy. But you call us crazy and force us to take medication that make you eat more. And they try to muzzle Sean and won't let Sean talk about foster care experiences. So, and the foster mom used to have that Masonic smelly crab family across the street to babysit us. I don't remember before kindergarten, but at least for kindergarten and part of first grade, I think. But definitely during kindergarten. Yeah. But, But yeah, I mean, I didn't realize that the foster mom, like, of course she will lie and say that she did the best she could for us, or that she treated us the best, or that she gave us like she just, but, but, I didn't realize that she was in her 40s and we were like 7 years old. And she was a poor foster parent towards us. And I like, well, if you're the foster mom, but then CPS is being called on you behind questionable abuse that you did to us. Busting our freaking lips, pulling us by our ear, or pressing us on our pressure point. You did that to us. But you got a right to sue us for slander, but you did it. You're guilty. And it's like, they made it like as if we didn't have a right to sue them for their abuse. Like the foster mom one time, when I threatened to sue them for their abuse and everything, And she said, Miss Pierce is the law, duh. Talking about the fake social worker. The fake social worker is the law? How? Y'all all crooked. Y'all all crooked. You think you're the law too? I mean, Mark ended up being an abuser like the fake foster mom Adrian Felder. He claimed to hate her, but he got so many ways like Mildred and Shelley. The foster cousin Mildred and the foster sister Shelley and the foster mom Adrian Felder. Mark, he's gay, so he got ways trying to be like those women. Trying to act like them. So, but he claimed that he can't stand Anne and Shelley, but he got more love for them than he got for his own biological sister. So, the Foster family and the Masonic Smelly Crab family, if they see Mark and ain't seen him in years, they'll be excited to see him. But they're still grudging against me and hate me, or they'll treat me like as if my presence is not welcome. They ignore me and like I don't exist and treat me like my presence is not welcome. If I call myself trying to go visit. And I didn't realize they're acting like that because they're gang stalkers. And they're the ones who fraudulently, illegally get to run around with these fake, successful vegan restaurant businesses. Fraudulently and illegally living a high life, getting to take cruises to Jamaica and trips to Tanzania and Nigeria. Or trips to Thailand or wherever the fuck. While I'm sitting here, struggling. Because I don't know if my food that I have, I know my money ain't gonna last me for the rest of the month, but after a week from now, I might end up having to ask for help for money for food. Me getting no food stamps, and I didn't get the SSI check. Hell, I might have to ask for money for soap. Soap to take a bath. So, y'all fraudulently and illegally get to have, drive around in BMW, brand new BMW convertible, brand new pretty Tesla, fraudulently and illegally driving around talking about how great God is and talking about how you God's chosen elect, yet you perping and abusing people. I mean, somebody who brags about $250,000 a year, but you try to sabotage the little bit of Social Security the crumbs of Social Security that I get. I can't comprehend it. You get a salary of $250,000 a year. You're a multi-millionaire trying to sabotage somebody that's poor and homeless and struggling. And now I got off the streets. I got off the streets and I got off the streets and now you're making threats to have me back homeless again. So, yeah. But as I said, these perps, um, yeah, I don't see how a multimillionaire can be, jealous of a homeless poor person, or hating on a little bit that a poor person gets. I can't comprehend it. I mean, if you're a multimillionaire and you have a sister, a daughter, a mother that has nothing, not a pot to piss in, can't even afford a bag of noodles, ramen noodles, but you own 14 antique cars. You brag about a mansion that you own, with a 3-story mansion with an indoor Olympic-sized jacuzzi. Yeah, just everything custom made, built from the ground up. You got real silver and gold all around your house. Living like kings and queens. Eating filet mignon, steak, lobster, caviar, whatever other rich folks kind of foods. But you think that somebody is not even worth a 20-year-old can of old Spam? A 20-year-old can of old moldy Spam or potted meat? Oh, I'm not even worth that. I don't even deserve to eat that. So, I mean, I thought it was the reverse. That, and then it's weird because the rich be stealing from and robbing the poor. They don't want the poor to have shit. Nothing. And y'all already rich and still got lots of greed for money. But you don't want a poor person to survive or exist or live. This is a fake nightmare to live on this earth. And it seems like as if the fake Darnell Williams perp basically, trying to battle me. And he's delusional and can't spell. He's illiterate. Stop posing as a black man when you know you're white, and leave people alone, because I know you're younger than me. You're not going to be 40 years old or my age acting the way you do. I mean, I don't even know if when his voice sounds like he might be 28, 29, or 30. But I refuse to be pimped or controlled by somebody that's younger than me. And if you're over 40 years old acting like that, then shame on you. and you need to grow the fuck up.